Hello.
Hi, Tex.
Hiya.
How you doing? Well, this is another episode of Suburban Rebels broadcast with Texacala Jones of Texacala Jones and the Horseheads, and now Texacala Jones and the Nightmares. So how did you first get into punk rock or cowpunk, as some call it?
Well, I don't know. I was just walking down the street, and one thing led to the other. I had good hair. Some people wanted me in their band because I had some pretty bitchin' hair, you know. And I started out like playing guitar and bass in bands, and then what happened? Oh, then I met Jeffrey, and I was going to play guitar in the gun club, and then I sucked and stuff, so I got fired that night. And she said, well, let's have a band and stuff. So we put together Tex and the Horseheads, and I became a singer because I had a really terrible voice, but he really liked it. So.
Okay. And how did you learn guitar? From Jeffrey?
Actually, no, I was playing guitar. Some other friends showed, I was playing guitar in their band, but they showed me what to play note for note. So I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just doing it. And then Jeffrey gave me some substance, you know. He showed me slide and, you know, got me to learn my chords and, you know.
Yeah.
Elaborate on it a little more and play more than 3 chords.
And you met Jeffrey just walking on the street, huh?
Oh, well, I met him in front of the lingerie club because it was the Sunday day show, and we were off. All the music was finished, and so. Me and some other waitresses stepped out for a cigarette, and he was walking down the street, and he said, hey, give me a smoke. And so he said, you want to go get a drink? And so we went back into lingerie and had some beers, and then we just like partied all night, you know, clubbing and stuff.
Yeah. And what does that name mean to you, Jeffrey Lee Pierce?
What does it mean? I don't know. It's just a fact of life, you know.
Yeah. It
just is.
Yeah. And
part of my brain. You know?
Yeah. What was life growing up for you in LA?
Well, it was adventurous, hard, tricky, very tricky.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it better, you know. Well, I had a good time, you know. I hitchhiked all around, and I didn't, you know, I was like what they called a runaway. And but nobody was looking. But yeah, and I ran around, had a good time, you know. It was a little dangerous at times, like when you're hitchhiking, and sometimes you get a little hungry, and you know. Yeah, that's LA.
Yeah. And so Tex and the Horseheads, you said was born when you and Jeffrey kind of, you didn't work out in the gun club. What about the other members? How did you meet them?
Well, Jeffrey and me decided, you know, well, what happened was we were at the Who's Who. It was this apartment house in West LA with all these musicians. And, you know, a bunch of the guys from the Little Kings lived there, and just a bunch of guys from bands who lived there. And the water muffalos and the water buffaloes, and so we used to go over there, and the water buffaloes and the water muffalos would be pranking each other, you know. So we'd have the meetings, and the meetings would be nothing but pranks for a couple hours, and everybody getting drunk. It was pretty fun. And then Jeffrey and me worked out Big Boss Man, you know, at the apartment, and Rock was there, Rock Baca, and he said to Rock, hey, he said to me, hey, show Rock how you play Big Boss Man, and Rock Baca, and so I played Big Boss Man real slow.
Nice.
And it's really it's a rhythm and blues song, but I was going Big Boss Man, and it was so weird and creepy and stuff. And Rock said, "I'm in." He said, "Let's start a band," because it was our intention to start a band, you know. You know, it all was kind of organic and stuff. And then Rock's brother John was playing bass and stuff, but he didn't last for very long because he had to go back to school, and so we got Smog, but yeah, and then Jeffrey got really, really busy with the gun club. Oh boy, he got real busy, and he was all over the world and everything. So he said, you know, he said, keep the Horseheads going, and you know, this will be your meal ticket, and treat it right and all that stuff. And so Rock brought Smog and Mike into it, because he played with them down by the beach. He was from La Jolla, and the other guys were from Seal Beach. I think Smog was from La Jolla too. The other guys were, Mike was in Seal Beach and stuff, but they all jammed down there and stuff. And so I didn't really know anybody till they got in the band.
Oh, okay.
And then, but I kind of knew Rock though. I knew Rock and Smog from the Who's Who.
Oh, okay.
I knew Rock from the Who's Who.
Right.
But I think Smog and Mike went there too. Oh yeah, after I joined Texan the Horseheads and stuff, and Jeffrey got too busy and John got too busy, then it was Rock, Smog, and Mike and myself.
Oh, okay.
And
what influenced your style back then?
Well, I really loved, back then, Jeffrey and me, we just loved the blues, boy. We would sit up there and listen to all kind of like ancient blues, you know, that barely got recorded and things. Yeah. And we listened to a little bit of jazz and old country, like Hank Williams and stuff like that, the older stuff, and Patsy Cline, you know, just like old country, and then, you know, all the local bands. But when we were in the apartment and stuff, we would play like blues songs. We would make up blues songs.
Oh, okay, cool. And do you think LA shaped your sound when the band started out?
Huh?
Do you think Los Angeles shaped the sound of the band at all?
Well, it made it possible for sure, because I don't know how it played a part. I guess it does. Everything you do plays a part in what you do, huh? Yeah. Wherever you are, you know, it's kind of moldy, like you get molded by the vibes all around you and stuff. So yeah, I guess it did have something to do with it. But I think if we would have met each other in New York, the same thing would have happened, or Austin, I think the same thing would, I was destined to play music, I think.
Yeah, for sure. And where does the inspiration for your lyrics come from?
Outer space. Outer space, and it like orbits around my head. My head's like a big planetoid, Yeah,
that's cool. And what about making the video for Gun Club's House on Highland Ave? What was that kind of experience?
Oh, it was fun. We had a lot of fun. And it wasn't, it didn't take that long or anything. I think it took about 3 or 4 hours, the whole thing.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Or maybe 4 or 5. I kind of forget. It was like 40 years ago. But I know we were having fun and we were cracking up a lot.
Yeah.
That's always a good sign when you're cracking up.
Yeah. Do you remember the hotel it was at?
It was at this place called the Carolina Pines. And it was, I think, on Highland. Was it La Brea? No, I think it was Highland. It was on Highland. And there was like a restaurant by it and a motel and a swimming pool. Like it was like an old 60s motel.
Yeah, that's cool. And I think that song was about like a serial killer, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
What about the song?
I don't know if he was a serial killer, but he sure did dust that one bitch, Bitch. Yeah.
What about the song Border Town? What inspired that?
I did not write that. Mike Mark wrote that.
Oh, okay.
I think it inspired. I think it was inspired by violent, border experiences.
Yeah. What about Lonely Minds?
It's about it's about just walking through life, and it's hard for me to describe my songs, but I think I'm just saying, yep, this is it, bub,
What about Oh Mother? Did you write that one?
No, Rock Vodka wrote that. David Thumb is his other name, and he wrote that song. It's a beautiful song, and I still do it a lot. And I'm not doing it in the Nightmares, but I probably will do it in the Nightmares. But I did it in Pony Island, and I did it in Los Platos, I think.
Okay. What about Lock Me Up?
Yeah, Lock Me Up. That's about like supernatural experiences and like things, things you don't tell people because they say you're nuts.
Yeah. I've had some of those for sure.
Yeah, that's best not to say anything.
Yeah. What was Bartender Sam responsible for some of your reckless nights?
What?
Bartender Sam, was he one of the instigators to have you get drunk and party?
Bartender Sam was just a name for every bartender. Every bartender was walking on eggshells around us. Or not eggshells, but keeping an eye,
Yeah. And how did Mad Mark Rude draw the cover of the record? How did you get him to do that?
How did that happen? Well, somebody told me, you should get Mark to do your album. And I hadn't met him yet. And I was at the Zero Club. And we got introduced and we started talking. And he said, well, what would you like me to draw? And I said, well, maybe some severed horse heads and skulls and blah, blah, blah. And then he goes, yeah. And I go, well, no, just have a dream. Just have a dream and do what you would do anyways. Don't listen to me, I said what I wanted, but then I changed my mind. I said, just do what you want, you know. And because I could sort of tell he was a ding dang genius right then and there, you know. And yeah,
Well,
I just told him go for it, man.
nice. And do you think drugs and alcohol take away or inspire creativity?
Well, to be honest, I love to, you know, have a joint every now and then before music. It makes it really fun.
Mm-hmm.
But all the hard stuff, I don't drink much anymore. In fact, I don't drink anymore because I killed my liver. But I just, you know, like on New Year's, I'll have a champagne or something like that. But back then, I don't know if it would have been better or not, or worse. I don't know what it would have been because obviously, you know, you know, I was piping, and if I hadn't have been partying, I don't know what would have happened. I'm not partying that much now, and I'm still writing a lot of songs and playing in bands.
Yeah.
So that if it's in your nature, you know, to play music, if it's in your nature to do whatever, you know, you'll follow that wherever you are. And it's in my nature to write songs and play music. So that's what I'm gonna do.
Ooh. And what's your best memories of the Horseheads in the old days?
Let me see. So much happened. I guess just traveling and playing shows everywhere, recording. That was pretty fun. Partying, you know, lots of cool people I met and fun times and that kind of thing. You know, fun times are fun times are they're money, baby.
Yeah.
You know, so fun times you can't, you know, get better than some good times and happiness and all that. But,
what do you think the best show was? Like the best club you played or something?
I don't know what the best show was. I think there was some really horrible shows where we were all too fucked up and, excuse my language, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you could.
Where we were all messed up and stuff, but then there were some good shows where we, like, when we did the reunions, those guys were like sobriety people, you know. They went to the AA and all this kind of stuff, and, you know, it was all kind of AA'd out and everything, and everybody was all civilized, and, you know, it was great. And then I was the only person that messed up, and you know, so I got kicked out of the Horseheads because I was a bad girl.
Oh,
yeah.
They kicked you out, the singer out, huh?
They kicked the singer out. Yeah, they kicked me out. You know.
Yeah.
But and then I tried to, you know, do other bands. I just do other bands now and just try to forget about that. You know, there's nothing I can do about that. That's that, right?
Yeah.
And when I did try to, you know, get other dudes to do it, it just causes bad feelings and everything, and, you know, bad shit on Facebook, and just awful stuff. And so I'm just doing other stuff, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, what can you do?
Right. What do you think the wildest show was? The craziest show?
I think Taco Land. Taco Land was crazy. And the guys that got naked and stood on chairs, because I think they were getting shocked because they were naked. And, and every time when around, like, cousins came, he go, Tex, come on, let's smoke a joint. And I smoked about 30 joints and drank about 60 beers. we were having so much fun, and all the hickoids were there, and a bunch of my friends from Austin and San Antonio, and oh man, we were just all like raging. It was crazy town. I just loved it. It was really fun. I just can't think of anything crazier. Well, there were some crazy times, like when the cops came to the Santa Monica Subway. Wasn't my proudest moment, but you know.
Yeah.
Oh, and Atlanta, that was pretty crazy because or not Atlanta, it was, what's that other town? Oh, Athens. Athens. When I was in Athens, the club owner gave me $100 to get everybody out of there in 15 minutes, or he was calling the police. And so I had to find everybody, and those dudes were having sex out in the parking lot, and everybody was all drunk, and one of the guys was just continually throwing up, and I was trying to round everybody up, and I think that even the road manager was drunk. And then he sobered up, and he started trying to help me get everybody all rounded up because the cops were going to come. And that was wild, but it wasn't good wild. It was, you know, the cops are coming wild. And come to think of it, I did have a lot of interaction with the police on those trips.
Oh, they shows a lot, huh?
Well, they thought I was shoplifting, and what was it called, a Walmart or something? And I was in Walmart, and they thought I stole stuff, and they did that to me at New Orleans too. At this, I think it was a Woolworths or something, and they did it to me. I've been like held back, tried to go in the store, and they put me in this room, and when I was in Germany, they put me in this room at the border, and they made me take all my clothes off, and because they thought I was hiding drugs in my butt or something, and I had to stand there, not even a fucking chair to sit on, and it was really, really cold. It's like, man, can you turn the heat on? Dang. and they left me in there like that for an hour before somebody came in. And, you know, and I already have a runny nose all the time, you know. When I start singing, my nose starts running, you know, so any little thing, you know, dang. So, yeah.
And what influenced your style of like the way you dressed and stuff back then? Well,
I would look in the mirror and I'd go, I need this, I need that. I just didn't, I don't know, that's just what nature was inside of me. And I still wear black, and I don't put as much makeup on, and my hair's not teased, but it's really messy. I still don't comb it. But, yeah, you know, I just like, I always liked black clothes. When I was a little kid, I liked black clothes. I wanted to be a nun because I liked their black clothes, but I also wanted to be a ballerina. So I wanted to be a ballet dancing nun with like a black tutu and a black headdress, you know.
Yeah. And how much blood and sweat went into Pony Island Express?
Well, I was in that band for like 3 years, I think, 3 or 4 years, and we put an album out, and we played quite a few shows around Austin, and we went to San Antonio, and I think, we played in Houston. We played around Texas, you know, and that was real fun. And then the COVID happened, and you know, things just kind of fell apart. And after COVID ended, we were all in different bands, you know. So
yeah. And what's the hardest thing about tour?
Well, missing my boyfriend and my kitty. Yeah, that's kind of. But I love touring. To be honest, bring it on. I love touring.
Do you think you're gonna tour the U.S. anytime soon? Or?
I'm hoping, because after I record with the Nightmare, I would like to. I'll probably look for a booking agent and try to get a nice tour.
Yeah, cool.
Because I'll have to get a booking agent because I don't know how to book a tour.
Yeah. And what inspired Roadside Blues?
Well, Rock had just passed on, and I was kind of singing to him.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And what are you listening to these days?
Not much. I just watch TV. No, I'm kidding. Well, when I go out, I listen to local bands, and I still listen to a lot of blues and jazz, and I try to listen to the current stuff once in a while, but I haven't been keeping up lately with current stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And but I try to listen to everything, you know. I still love all the stuff I loved before, like, you know, old blues and old country and, you know, old weird stuff and,
yeah,
you know, punk rock and local bands.
Yeah. Who were some of your favorite bands you played with back then?
Oh, back then?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, God, playing with X was like a spiritual experience. I love playing with X and let's see, you know, the Joneses, the Screaming Sirens. That was fun when we would play with the Screaming Sirens because we all used to hang out and stuff and party and everything. So I really liked playing with them.
Okay.
And let's see who we play with. I'm trying to remember who we played with.
Did you ever play with Fear?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, we never played with Fear.
I just saw them the other night.
The first time I saw Fear, though, it was at the Troubadour, and he was wearing this like leather suit, and that he was such a fox. Oh my God, he was beautiful, and everybody was like spitting on him. And by the end of the set, there was all kinds of spit running down his legs and in the bottom of his jacket and everything. And I thought, wow, what the heck? Whoa.
Well, he's still got a voice, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah. Are horses your spirit animal?
Yes, I love horses.
Yeah.
But one time I was riding around with the Horseheads, and they go, Tex, what's your spirit animal? And I go, the horse, of course. And they go, nah, you're more like a sloth. And I thought, whoa. But now I really like sloths. I mean, back then I didn't know much about sloths, so I started checking them out, and I really like sloths. I don't think I think all animals are my spirit animal, because if there was reincarnation, I was probably all of them at one time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, who doesn't love a horse, man?
Right. Yeah.
Shoot, I love it.
Yeah. Is Blue Saber done in your live set?
No, that I did that song when I was in Pony Island. It seems like every time I get in a new band, I don't do those songs anymore. But I am doing Invisible Eye, because I'm doing Invisible Eye and Fair. I did Fair when I was in Hay, and so now I'm doing that again, and I'm doing Invisible Eye again, and that was in Pony Island.
Okay. And was your belief in ghosts the inspiration for Invisible Eye?
Yeah, well, ghosts and spirits and other stuff that's out there.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, because like I was going, gotta move like a shadow in the moonlight. Don't let the demon look you in the eye. Sucks out your soul, throws it in a hole so smooth you won't even know.
That's great.
Yeah.
Who's Frigid Bardot?
Oh, well, Frigid Bardot was like, because I was saying that I wanted to take a boat and wear my leopard skin print bikini and be like standing there on the front of the boat, charging across the ocean, all glamorous, like, but, and the frigid comes from, being sick of it being winter and shit.
Yeah.
That's what frigid means. I was sick of freezing. I just wanted to put on my bikini and go boating, go sailing.
Yeah. What's the craziest thing you saw Jeffrey Lee Pierce do?
Oh my God. I don't think I should say. Maybe I'll write it in my book, or maybe not. Maybe I better just keep it to myself.
Yeah. What would you tell Jeffrey if you could say something to him now?
I love you.
And what does rock and roll mean to you?
Everything. Absolutely everything. I mean, I draw a little bit, I kind of doodle a little bit, but I can't draw realistic like Mark Rude could, or I'm mostly a doodler. And aside of that, that's about it.
Yeah.
Writing songs or,
yeah.
I am acting a little, but I haven't done that in a while.
Oh, okay.
But I don't really have much else going for me, in the way of doing stuff.
Yeah. Well, what keeps you going after all these years?
My guitar.
Yeah. Cool.
I see that after I have a few cups of coffee, I pick it up and we're going.
So what's next for Texacala Jones?
Well, the Nightmares, the band I'm in now, Nightmares, we're gonna record, and we have a show on if anybody's gonna be at South by Southwest on March 16th, we're playing at the Parlor.
Okay. And
that's in Austin, Texas.
All right. So if anyone's listening to this, you're in Austin, you better go.
Yeah. Come down to the Parlor. There's gonna be bands and they have pizza and all that kind of stuff and lots of really cool beers and that's where I'll be, the Parlor, on the 16th of March, and I think I'm going on at 6:45.
Ooh.
So if you're catching a bunch of bands out there, just remember I'm going on at 6:45.
Ooh, all right.
And we only play a half hour.
Oh, all right. Nice quick set.
So
all right.
that's going on, and I'm going to record, and I'm going to try to go on a tour.
Oh, sweet. I hope you come to San Francisco.
Me too.
Yeah.
What's the cool club to play there?
Probably the Parkside.
Okay.
Or maybe now some bar that used to have shows called the Kilowatt. They started having shows again. Or Bottom of the Hill, but yeah, the Parkside would be cool.
Well, maybe I'll call you before I book it and find out what the hip club is at the time.
Yeah, we'll definitely work that out. Well, yeah. Do you have any last words, Tex?
Hey everybody, keep your brain open. It's all happening. Lots of love to y'all.
All right. Well, thanks for doing the interview, Tex. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me.
Of course. It's been an honor. And then have a great night.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.